A few weeks ago, I was speaking with a friend of mine, and she was just in the process of ending her relationship. She and her partner found out that they were incompatible on a medical level. How do you get over a very tough breakup that you had no choice in? Hey, 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 guys! Welcome and welcome back to another episode of 30 Plus Click with Max and Yo-Yo. If you haven't seen our faces before on this channel, we offer advices that we believe will help you level up in all aspects of your life. And if that's something that you are interested in, please stick around, be our friend, be our homie, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video to 2 other people in your circle. We would appreciate it. But Yo-Yo, have you ever seen this before? The love is there, everything is going well, but unfortunately, maybe due to things outside of their control, a relationship now has to end.
Of course, yes, I have seen it. People go through it. It can be different reason. The love is there, the money is there, the interest is there. Just name it. But in terms of blood group, they're not compatible. And some people would damn the consequences, but some other people would like, you know what, just for the sake of our future children and our life and our sanity, let's just quit. And that type of breakup, that is unimaginable. But it's a little bit easy to move on with that type of breakup because there is a valid reason, there is medical reason that is really beyond you. Another situation can be when the boy and the girl, they're really interested, everything is working well. However, the parents are saying it's a no, no, no. Or maybe the father just said that. I'm not I don't really think that this guy is a good guy. And I don't think I want to support this relationship. At that point, breakup is inevitable. But sometimes it can drag for some time with a lot of prayers, a lot of counsel, and a lot of people trying to talk to the parents, right? But that's another breakup that is really tough because it's not easy to get a boyfriend. I found one, then he has proposed, and then you're saying no for just no reason. Max, what about the breakup that is initiated because of tribal difference?
Honestly, I'm just thinking about it now. She was speaking. When you said at least there's a valid reason for the genotype situation, I'm just going to piggyback a little bit before going forward. I was just thinking to myself, I don't even think it's easy because, like, the emotions are there, the love is there, but you're like, oh, this one thing is not making sense. Now, we talk about tribal differences. These are things that are obviously out of our control. Or if you don't understand maybe tribal difference, let's put it in the context of interracial differences. Like, these are things that are like out of your control, but somehow it's now playing a major factor in your life, especially with the people. And I know some people will be like, oh yeah, it's me and my husband, I don't care what everybody else says, I'm gonna marry him whatever which way. But then there's some people like us that are from a very tight-knit family oriented setting, and it's gonna be heartbreaking because it's either you give up one, you're either ways you're going to be losing something. It's either you lose your family or you lose the love of your life, and you have a decision to make on the opportunity cost of the situation. So is your family worth more than your love, or is your love worth more than your family? And so when you think about it, from that context, and realizing how impossible, like, you're being placed in between a rock and a hard place. Like, I understand people be like, god damn, it's a really difficult breakup to be in, especially because it's through no fault of yours. But then I would say there are some conversations that need to be had to ensure that you don't get to this place in the first instance. Now, for the genotype situation, I know we've already talked about relationships in a lot on this channel, and we have a whole playlist, talking about relationship questions to ask on the dating to marry series. Please go back and watch those videos, because I believe that those hold the key to ensure that you don't find yourself in this situation. Now, if you are going to meet somebody today, there's some key questions that you need to ask on your first date. Genotype is one of them. If you're one of those people who, you know that maybe you're an AS, you want to have asked those important questions on your first date. The reason being, it will allow you to make informed, clear decisions before going too far in the relationship. It will help you to be able to decide. So I always say it's easy to end a relationship at the first date than 10 months later. So asking the right questions and getting those answers will help you ensure that you are not going down a rabbit hole later in the future. There's always going to be someone for you. If the person that you're currently dealing with is not compatible with you, after asking those important questions to your first date, then my dear, end it and move on. Now, for the questions about whether it's a tribal situation or interracial situation, again, important question. Family values. The questions about values are very important to ask at the beginning. How do people react to interracial people? Are people open to being, in this kind of setting? How do you feel about it? How is your family feeling about it? Where do you guys align and dislodge? These are questions that you guys also need to ask. I know that when you think about it now, the first thing that comes to mind when people are asking questions, and what's your favorite food, what's your favorite color, when was the last time you slept, have you eaten today, stuff like that. But like, these are also questions that are not going to get you anything. You need to actually ask the question that could be potentially problematic for you down in the future. That way you can decide now at the beginning if it's something you want to address, take a step back and leave, or if it's something you want to move forward with.
Yeah, they're very good thoughts. So also sometimes people assume their blood status, and so the first question once you ask, are you A positive, A negative? Oh, sorry, O positive, O negative. Everybody wants to claim they are O positive, right? And so people don't really have that time. Some people they've not even checked their genotype. Some people they don't even know whether their hepatitis B or A or all this because they don't care. But at this point, if you're not sure, it's just best to tell your status. I don't know. I don't think I know. And so if you're trying to get into a relationship, before it gets to the point of no return, in quotes, just you guys just go and check. Just walk into the lab and just check, right? It's better and it hurts right now. And at the point where it hurts so badly and it's a little bit public. So go beyond talking about it, just stroll and go to the lab and check and exchange your reports, seek medical advices to ensure that you guys are compatible. And if you're there in a relationship and these guys around you is not from your town or is from your town, I think you want to ask your parents, hey dad, hey mom, are there any restrictions when it comes to getting married in this clan or in this state or from wherever you are? Just have those conversations with your parents, and so you can know, right? So that those things that are beyond you, you are able to uncover them before you get to that point, right? And another thing is religion. Religion is a very hot topic, right? Just have those conversations. Keep talking, like Master said. Forget about if you like rice, if you eat bread in the morning, if you take swallows at night. We'll figure that later. It really doesn't matter, right? Those things that really matter, have those moments to talk about it. And also, Max, when it comes to people that they really, really love themselves, right? And everything looks good, like from the family wise is good, from everything is good, but there's this feeling that you just don't know. You can't put words to it. You know that he's a good guy, but you don't know what that but is. At that point, what would you advise these two people to do?
Was it? I think we put on an episode last week, and I said I forget the title of the episode now. We're going to link it in the description of this video. And I said in that episode, like, you always know. Like, if the relationship is working, if you're dating somebody and there's something about them that you can't place your finger on, but like your spirit is not all the way there, you're not all the way comfortable, you know that something is not right. And I promise you, it's also not going to change anything. Whether you stay there today, whether you stay there tomorrow, whether you stay there in the next 5 years, the fact that you're having that inkling in your heart, in your intuition, is always going to remain and it's going to bring an end result. My suggestion to you would be to take some time to investigate what is this thing about this person. Sometimes we dismiss some things that are as small things. For you, the fact that your spirit is unsettled about this thing it means it's not a small thing to you. If your spirit is unsettled about it, investigate it. How, what is it about this person? Is it the way they think about a certain thing? I tell you this, you. I was in a conversation with somebody sometime this year, I think, to about the potential of having a relationship. And the conversations led to a question. I asked the question, how do they treat widows from where you're coming from? Not necessarily because I plan to kill my husband or anything like that, but because I wanted to understand what kind of family the person was coming from and how they treat the people who are unfortunately in this situation. And the culture that I was hearing about did not sound particularly palatable to me. So I said, okay, good. Thank you for being very honest about this conversation, Yo-Yo. So I said to him, so if you were in a situation like you have a wife tomorrow, like what steps would you do to protect your wife to ensure that she's good? And this person did not seem to understand why they needed to take any additional steps. They just had the blanket feeling that, oh, my siblings are good, they're good, everything's fine. And honestly, I can't even lie to you. They don't need to write bad people in front of someone's head. I'm sorry. Like, if you're not going to take the steps to have your will in place, to have your last will and testaments, whatever it is, I don't know the legality of it all, to ensure that your wife and kids are protected in the future, I don't want to have anything to do with you, because I understand the patriarchal. You just described to me a situation where it might not look nice. Do you understand? For me, it was a big deal. And I was like, nah, I don't want to continue. I want us to now investigate some of the things that you can do now moving forward. How do you get over it? You guys have finally said your goodbyes. The relationship has ended. What next?
Well, what next? Accept it, right? It is over. It is not your fault. It is not his fault. There is no blame game here, right? So don't even think about blame game. And don't even think about self-doubt, and don't be negative to yourself. So it is not your fault. It is not his fault. No blame game. Accept it, right? When you're able to accept the reality of it, then you're able to find yourself. But until you come to that point where you accept the reality, you would still be chasing shadows. But when you accept it, you have more strength. You are empowered to move forward. You're even empowered, even if you're not moving forward, you're empowered to first stand and take a look at yourself. And you see, I so much believe in first finding yourself. Come to terms with it. It is happening, girl. It is happening, guy. Your guys are not compatible. I'll tell you a story. I had a friend that really believed so much that this guy, they were meant to be, they had revelations and they were really meant to be. But the blood group was not really compatible. And so they believed over years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. This is a real life story. They believed over 3 to 4 years that everything would work well. And when I met that friend, I was like, babe, this faith will not work. And so over 4 or 5 years, the medical situation is constant. Why don't move on? Why don't go seek counsel and move on? But after the fifth year, it was quite obvious that this is not going to happen, and they really separated. Guess what? This girl lost 5 years. In that 5 years, do you know how many boyfriends or how many relationships that would have happened? It's traumatizing. And so, if you're really in that uncertain stage, it is not your fault. Heal, move on. There are over 9 billion people in this world. That guy will find you, or that woman will walk into your space, and you will just know. And so don't keep what will not work. Realize it, come to reality, and find yourself. After finding yourself, go make up again and look bright. There is more coming. You're still sharp, right? They will find you, okay? Yeah, my thoughts, Max.
And so I want to thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please consider watching our last video, which we would link somewhere here in the end screens. Watch that video. We have offered more tips, especially on how to find your accountability partner to help you through a difficult situation. We love you. And if you've gotten to this point in this video, please consider giving us a comment, letting us know how this video has helped you today. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video to your at least 2 people in your circle. But until next time, bye guys.